Good morning, St. Francis. It is Friday, September the 17th, 2021, Friday of the 24th week of the year, but also a Friday that is filled with a variety of memorials. The first of them is St. Robert Bellarmine, Jesuit, Cardinal of the Church, instrumental in implementing some of the reforms of the Council of Trent back in the 16th century, a pivotal figure in the Counter-Reformation. It is also the first time that we are celebrating the memorial of St. Hildegard of Bingham. Again, Hildegard was a fantastic medieval mystic, a woman of power and strength, enabling others to experience not just God, but the feminine idea of who and what God was and continues to be for us. Again, the fact that she was raised to become a saint and now has a memorial on our calendar is significant again for the experience of women in faith, the experience of women, female mystics in the history of salvation, in the history of the faith. And finally, it is the feast of the Stigmata of our Holy Father, St. Francis. And so it is the day on which, as tradition holds, St. Francis received the Stigmata on Mount Laverna, and again, the wounds of Christ being experienced in his flesh. Again, he would die 2 years later. I think it's 2 years, maybe 3 years later, somewhat later, but he would carry the Stigmata with him for the rest of his life, only being revealed after his death by Brother Elias. Was he the first to receive the Stigmata? That's always a question, because there are the legenda about St. Patrick that say that he received the Stigmata first. Well, that's always because St. Patrick has to be first with everything. But we hold that St. Francis was the first. Pio Pietriclina, that he was one of the second. There have been others who have been claimed to receive the Stigmata also. But to be able to experience the wounds of Christ, again, wounds out of love, wounds that are given because of great love that Christ again had for humanity, had for our destiny, had for our future, that St. Francis shares. Our last morning reflection from the beach. So the seagrass and then the waves behind us. Still variable weather conditions. The Hurricane Tropical Storm Nicholas, wherever he happens to be now, is still kind of passing by the Carolinas, and so it is a good morning, but really interesting kind of sunrise. In today's readings, let's see, 1 Timothy. We get, again, Paul cautioning Timothy not to follow those who want to use religion or want to use faith for their own means and purposes, especially to get rich, again, get rich schemes and things like that. Interesting kind of commentary sometimes on those televangelists who might not have been interested in spreading the faith, but in making money. Again, the line that the desire for money is the root of all evil, again, comes from this first letter of Timothy. Again, the sense in which, though people don't use faith just to make money, people can use faith to make sure that their lives are made comfortable, and that what they believe shouldn't be shaken up, challenged, transformed, threatened in any way. And that can lead to a lot of unhappiness for them and then for others. In the Gospel today from Luke, it's just a simple naming of names, but important names. The 12 are called, and then a series of women. Now, this is the only time that the Magdalene is ever mentioned as having something wrong with her, that when she joins the company of Jesus. 7 demons being cast out of her. Does not necessarily, again, mean that she was a prostitute or a woman of ill repute or anything like that. She was troubled by something, and Jesus healed her. Real demons? Again, hard to say. Again, it's like we don't worry about the demons. We worry about the fact that whatever was stopping Mary Magdalene from living her life, all of a sudden Jesus gave her life and gave her a fullness of life that allows her then to become the witness to the resurrection. It is not only her, it is Joanna and Susanna, it is all of these other women who, again, the gospel passage ends with, they helped Jesus in his ministry basically out of their own pockets. That the women were the ones who bankrolled Jesus' ministry. It would not perhaps have gone, according to Luke's gospel, very far if these women had not been involved with it. Again, the importance of the role of women in our church, in our faith, cannot be underestimated, cannot be undersaid, it cannot be pushed to the margins or ignored. It is part and parcel of the growth of the faith, of the spreading of Jesus' words, of his wisdom, of his deeds. The role of women within our faith is something to be held in esteem and in reverence. And let that understanding help all of us to reach into ourselves and to give what we can to make the faith real and alive in each other's lives. And may the Lord give you his peace.